Okay. So guys, as every class will be discussing about any one scenario that real time what SOC engineers will be doing and a SOC engineer's experience. Okay, security analyst experience. Today, I would like to share some deployment related. Means deployment means we are not deploying anything Splunk or anything, but if in our organization there are any security related, so not security, IT related functions will be happening, right? Someone will be uploading some, someone will be updating their Windows server, someone will be updating their Linux machine, someone will be updating, their um, routers with new routing tables, or someone will be changing some firewall rules, someone will be changing, the web server, they might be updating the web server, they might be modifying something, or someone will be like updating the antivirus or something, which is very big change that affects the entire organization and which are mainly in production. Okay, so before to that, we have to know two categories here. Okay, as an engineer, you should know two categories. One is what is meant by production and what is meant by QA. Production and QA. Okay, QA means like it's a testing environment. Okay, production means it is live environment. Okay, there is production and there is QA. Okay, so guys, always remember, okay, whenever you try to develop any software, whenever you try to develop any software, without testing it, will you be going to put in some environment which is called as production? In your office, you are going to directly install it.
No.
You have to do some kind of intermediate process called as testing. Then if everything is okay, then you will send it to the production environment. Okay, but now this is development of software. Then once you do testing, then it will be kept that software into production environment. If there are any bugs are identified here, we will move it back to the development phase. So again, they will fix it and they will send it. This is not only applicable for softwares. I say you have some patches are there. Okay, and these patches you will have some Linux or Windows. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is some Windows server. Some new patch has come from Windows. Directly, they don't push it here. First, they will take the patch. Okay, they will have some testing servers, some testing Windows machines. Okay, in that they will push it. In that they will push it, and then pushing means sending those. Okay, sending those updates to that machine is called as, we say sometimes pushing. Okay, or sometimes we say deployment. Okay, sometimes we say changes. Anything you can say. Changes means earlier it was version 1. Okay, one version 1. Once they update it, it will become version 2. Correct, right? Second version. Okay, so there is a change happened. Okay, so you have to push the changes whatever the vendor has given. Vendor means like if it is a firewall, say for example, any uh, update he has given for the firewall. Give me a second. Okay, if it is a firewall, who will give the firewall related updates related to the firewall operating system or firewall related any graphical user interface or something? Vendor will give you. Correct, right? So that remember. Okay, not all the changes will be from only the vendor. There are some other changes, like my organization requires something different configurations that my team, my security team or my firewall team has identified. That okay, this IP comes from today onwards, please, this set of IP comes, please don't allow them to enter that traffic into my organization. That time those changes who are giving in our organization, some people are giving. So whatever it is, if there are any changes that are happening to our existing live environment, it's always important for us to first test that whether how it is working. Then Once if it is working properly, there is no crashes observed. For what purpose? There are no crashes observed, there are no freezing of the software, or there is no performance down of this particular thing compared to earlier. Okay, everything is working as usual, or sometimes performance might have increased a little bit than the older version. That kind of things you will be observing. Okay, so this is called as like a deployment to the QA. So first, which team will take care? Whichever the team it is. If it is Windows team, Windows will take IT team only will deploy it to the QA and see if there is everything is working or not. You are not going to come into the picture as a security engineer. Okay, so deployment they will only do whether it is QA or it is this production environment. Now sometimes what happens, web application, now it was like altogether new website they are coming up with. Okay, they don't directly, whatever the new software, new GUI or new functionality which they have developed, they don't bring it and push it over to the let me check if anyone is waiting for that. No. Okay, so if someone is actually trying to um uh, uh, push those changes directly to the production environment, what happens if there is any, these words you have to remember, if there is any like changes, all these things, right? This is also anywhere. If there is any breakage happens, breakage means the existing software which is working fine, after the new changes implementation, okay, the functionality which has to work is now not working. So that is called as a breakage. These words you'll be keep listening. Okay, you'll be keep hearing. Okay, during your the SOC analyst life. Okay, so so always remember, you don't involve directly in any kind of deployment as you are going to deploy it something. Okay, means the updating that software you don't do it. Okay, that respective teams, if firewall related some changes means firewall team will take care. If it is Windows or Linux, IT team will take care. If it is antivirus update to all the machines up to this main server, antivirus server, antivirus team will take care of it. If it is mail systems, anything, mail server, IT team, mail server group will take care of it. You are not going to involve anywhere. Okay, got it right? Okay, now, so once if that QA environment, if it is working fine and they did not observe any issues, then they will push it to the software. Same thing, once if there is any new functionality of the web server or anything, if they identify and if they developed, they will just push it. Some dummy environment will be there. Excuse me. Anil, mute. Okay, sure. Fine. Okay, so this particular, let me mute everyone. That should be the correct. Oh, there is anything such mute all. Yes. And okay, so everyone is now muted. I will unmute once if it is done. Okay, so guys, what I was telling is, so this particular thing, that the new website, whatever it is there, now it will create some kind of the new functionality, whatever it is there, that web server, how it is performing. Then all those things they will check in the QA server and everything. If it is fine, then they will move it to the production. Okay, now, so now this thing they have done, that software team or if it is a firewall team, whatever the changes which they have received, okay, they have actually working perfectly. Now they have the working software, right? Now they will get and keep it aside, and now they have to push this process. How it happens now we are going to see in real time. Okay, so what happens is, whichever the team, okay, it can be any team. Okay, if they have any changes to be made, okay, if they have any changes to be made to the production means live environment. Okay, live environment. Okay, now immediately these are the steps they will take care, not we, they will take care. Okay, first they will create change request. Change request, what does that mean? Simple. Change request is nothing. your organization is having a network or some servers, everything included properly, and now it is working fine. It's going well. Okay, now to that environment, someone is trying to do some changes. Okay, so as soon as someone decides it, first they have to let all the stakeholders to know about their changes, that what they are going to do, and they have to analyze that, okay, this change will affect me, so I should be there. This change might impact my services, so I should be aware of it. So say for example, web server is there. Okay, some changes they are doing. Okay, for that web server, if they are doing some changes, if the web server is installed on Windows server, okay, that web server software is installed on a Windows server, so Windows team has to be notified, server team has to be notified. Okay, telling that, so this is the change we have. Okay, so we are going to do it, planning to do it on so and so day, and what is in the uh, you know, change it contains. Okay, so it says that, okay, this change contains um, something related to update of the operating system. So during the update, these packages we are pushing, I mean, like these PA packages will get updated to that operation. Maybe that particular package which is updating to that server might be going to impact our software, which our software developers might have developed, or the other way around, if there are implementing some new software changes to their web server, means like some web application, some operating system might get impacted. So those kind of things, whoever it belongs to the changes, they will discuss among themselves during this change request thing, and they will get an approval that, yeah, this might not impact anything. Okay, this might not impact anything, so we can go ahead with the changes. If it is not, okay, the stakeholders doesn't accept, if there is an impact, okay, then defer the changes or reject the changes, sorry. Okay, they will reject the changes. Okay, this, it will be top level team, risk team will be there, who will be taking care of such things. Which team? Okay, risk team. The risk team will be involved here. They will analyze, hey, you are sending some kind of packages, you are trying to send it to the Windows server, that might impact, because they are telling this particular thing. So as they are also like very much concerned about an issue, these this issue. Okay, we are not going to do anything the with respect to the changes or anything. Okay, so we are not going to approve these changes. Okay, so make sure that those risks should not be there, because the risk company will have a risk management team which takes care of this change might affect any of our organization current ongoing, the production status or security status. Okay, all those things. Okay, so the change, say for example, if it is approved, okay, if it is approved, okay, if it is rejected, means it's their duty to somehow convince that it is not going to affect properly, once again testing and then showing the evidence, all those things, that it is, we are least bothered, because it is not coming towards us, which is SOC team, correct, right? The now the activity that is coming when the change is approved. Now when the change gets approved, they will raise some change request, right? That ID, change ID and other information related to change will be sent to SOC team along with the time. Okay, along with the time. Oh, this is the time that we are going to deploy, or this is the time we are going to do some changes. Okay, could you please have a look into it? Okay, your availability is very much required to know what is happening with the organization, traffic related or security related. Why we require, why they are notifying us, because, okay, we are the team who are having the entire organization logs. Okay, if you know uh, it's like, the if there is any impact happens due to some kind of, say for example, some web server they try to update. Okay, web server is down. Okay, got it right. Hmm? Along with that, okay, some kind of, you know, the traffic, it will be drop at a significant level before some firewall, whichever it is there here. Say for example, I will tell, this is the organization network, right? In a simplistic way I will show you. This is the router. I'll take some other example, firewall. Okay, some kind of some router or switch or something like that, and you have some LB, and you have some switch, and for that some systems are connected. Now there is some web server here, web server, and this got updated. Okay, after updating this particular machine, okay, some other servers are there. The traffic whichever comes here, if it is user related, some request, I want some login or anything. Okay, so those things will get like those requests will be like will be processed some other location. Say for example, here a user wants to successfully log in. Here this machine will send the login page back to the user. Okay, and the login has to be authenticated somewhere here. Okay, login authentication. So this server they have updated. Okay, but all of a sudden this page something got impacted, the system got impacted. Now you will see the graph that, okay, whichever it was perfectly lying down like this. Okay, when the changes happened here, all of a sudden the some change in the the traffic, I mean, reduction in the traffic, the amount of traffic, okay, that is passing through this particular thing. Okay, so the same thing you can verify by looking at this logs. Okay, and you will come to know that why it is happening by checking. Okay, so the traffic, whichever the number of requests what this servers has sent to the users, if it is 100, so 100 people try to log in, send that login with their usernames and passwords to this particular machine. Okay, now what is happening, instead of 100, I am hardly getting only 5 or 10. So that means, okay, I will compare this logs and this logs, and I'll conclude that, okay, there is some problem because the changes are happening here. I know that, and I have validated by looking at here. Okay, something like that. Okay, so if there is any firewall related changes are happening, say for example here, okay, they have updated the configuration. Okay, and usually port this whatever the port is there, okay, it is like 443 example web server, but instead of that here this port 443, what they have done, instead of they are allowing secured traffic 443 to here, what they have done, they have blocked it. So what happened that time, okay, if they block it, here itself firewall team has what they have done, they have done some changes. If firewall team, when they do changes, we have done our work successfully, now everything is fine, they will keep, I mean, like they will keep quiet. Okay, it's their product. Okay, they will think everything is fine. But if no one is monitoring, no one is monitoring, then you just imagine how much business will be lost. That the main web server, whichever it is receiving the request, now 443 requests means like traffic that is secured. The traffic is not going to this machine, so you are going to lose a lot of money. And since they just did their own changes, and they are like thinking everything is working fine from their side because the firewall is working, but yeah, okay, but they are not able to, sorry guys, why, how come controller we, okay, okay, oh, oh. Francis, remove your pen. Okay, you are doing something and it is reflecting over here. Yeah,
I'm listening to this.
yeah. It is affecting here. Okay, so then this particular things, whatever the firewall team, if they are doing any changes, if SOC team is going to get involved over there, and they will be checking the entire organization dashboards they will be keeping, the entire organization. How is the web server health? How is the firewall related traffic? How is the the antivirus? How is the threats? How is everything? So how it looks? Let us see now. Okay, this okay. Let me just pause the screen for a second. Okay, now. Okay. Let me, what is that? What is it? What is it? What is it? Okay, shape. Okay. Um, SOC dashboards. Sorry, SOC dashboards. Okay, something just. Okay. It'll be like this. Okay, what we'll be doing? Hey, any traffic impact is there or not? Hey, anything that has to be notified? They are doing some changes. I'll be keep monitoring. Like first, what I'll do, I will let you know as a SOC engineer. They said like, sir, we are going to start the deployment now within another 15 minutes. Okay. Okay. Then I'll get in. Okay. As a SOC engineer, then what I'll do from last 1 hour, how is the traffic? Everything is fine or not? Last some 6 hours I will take example. Okay. You can check for usually because it is continuous monitoring. Usually for 1 hour only we'll check, but let us see some 4 hours also you can take, and you can check all the traffic, whatever it is happening or not properly. Okay. Any P1 related issues are there or not? Any P1 issues? P1 issues means already a problem is happening in the organization. Someone did some changes, and because of that, some problem occurred. That problem is not yet resolved. Okay. Now, during that time, if someone is coming and doing some more changes, because of that, something happens. Now we cannot identify the root cause, that the new issue, if anything comes, whom we need to blame, whether the new guy who did try to do some changes, we have to blame him, or we have to blame some person who is actually already did some changes, and because of that changes some issue occurred, and people are already working to fix that. So one thing you remember, any time, okay, anytime, okay, no changes deployment during a P1 issue in progress. If there is any P1 issues there, okay, until and unless high level authority people allow it, we don't, as a SOC team, we don't accept anyone to do any changes, because it's very hard for us also to identify that if these guys new changes, whoever does, right, if new issue occurs, that is existing problem in the organization, that network level, or some the security level, or the performance level, anything. Okay, if some issue comes, okay, who has to take? Now two teams are there to blame. Okay, one already has implemented and there is some ongoing issues there. Okay, and this guy has done some changes, and because of that, new P1 issue has come. Now in between both of them, that's who is the culprit behind this second issue. Okay, so these kind of things we are going to analyze. Okay, give me a second. So once if there is no changes with respect to the, I mean, like if there are no P1s are there, then we will allow them to proceed, because they will first they will ask SOC team, we are going to deploy some things. Okay, could you please check if there is any ongoing P1? Okay, if they don't ask, we will only check if there is anyone for your changes there is a conflict. What we have to use the word conflict. Use this word conflict. Hey, for your changes we have a conflict. There is an already ongoing P1 is there, so it is advisable to not to deploy any changes once until we find the root cause for the existing problem. Okay, once we find the root cause for the existing problem. If we find the root cause for the existing problem, then it will says that like we will get some, the capability of taking the decisions that, okay, changes that are like going to come, the new changes which some team has come to us now, right, is whether it is going to affect or not. So that kind of analysis we can do it later. Okay, so that is why if there is any ongoing P1s are there, then it is raises a conflict. So we don't go for any deployment. We won't suggest any deployment. Okay, so now once after, like I said, like if everything is fine, there is no conflict. Now, as I said, we will go and view this kind of like dashboards will be there, like so many will be there, like the screens. Okay, these kind of screens, it will be like very big screens you'll be seeing in your organization. If it is a very big organization, you'll be seeing it on the very big display screens, like 52-inch screens, something like 10 or 15 they might have kept. Okay, and everything is there, all statistical analysis, everything like graphs, pie charts, everything. Like even if you are discussing with your friend somewhere, you can stand and see, monitor it that way. And the same things you can use on your screen also. When you are working on a specific task, these screens you can actually log in into the your whichever the sim device, and you can view them. Okay, so all these things. Okay, now you have to monitor it for some time. So now you started monitoring it. Okay, if from past 1 hour now you requested for deployment, no P1s are there. Now let me check. Okay, everything is fine. Okay, now the heartbeats are there from all the servers properly, and Splunk is properly receiving the logs, and firewall is working fine. Everything like that, you will see one by one, what are the things you have to verify. These things are called as pre-deployment checks. Okay, SOC team pre-deployment checks means before deployment you are doing some checks. Okay, checkings. Okay, hey, this is good, this is good, this is good. All these things you will be having, like some dashboards created, like pre-deployment check dashboards you might have created. And in that every image you'll be seeing everything is fine or not. If I'm how to check those graphs and all, later I will show you when we are writing some queries, right? When we create dashboards, right, that time you'll learn that thing to worry about that particular part. But you see some graph is like went up and all of a sudden it fall down. Hey boss, some issue is already like something, we have to validate it, and then after that you deploy it. Okay, or already one P1 is there in my list that we are still monitoring it and trying to find the root cause. Till that time, no. Okay, now if everything is fine, so I did the pre-deployment checks, now everything is fine. Now you can go ahead, all the dashboards, pie charts, okay, the statistics, everything's suggesting everything is fine in the organization. Now you can go ahead with your changes. Then they will do changes. Okay, now once they do changes, okay, from their side, so if it is, the change has to be applied to 10 systems. Example, the change has to be applied to 10 systems. Okay, what they will do on 10 systems, they don't do the changes directly. We will ask them, okay, to do the changes for first 2 machines, and then to the next 2 machines. If the first 2 minutes, once after they do changes, we will go and revisit the graph again. We will go and revisit the graph again. There should not be any significant changes in the graphs. Okay, at that particular time. See, now all of a sudden it is there. All of a sudden we should be knowing that all of a sudden if it is fall down something, okay, like this something, okay, which should not be expected, which is not expected, then we will ask them, hey, there is some change happened. Okay, we am seeing a lot of 404 errors that from once if you deploy it to the web server, some new changes once you deploy, we are seeing a lot of increase in 404. Earlier it was only 200 per minute. Now I'm seeing almost 400 increase in the 404 issues, somewhere around 600 we are getting it now. Could you please look into it? Like that we will ask the developer, and we will also start digging into the logs. Okay, so after digging into the logs, we will see like what is the like reason from which time it is actually these logs after deployment exactly matching with the same time, or because of the change only it is happened. All these kind of things we will be digging deeper into it, and we'll gather information, we'll gather some information. So now, to this extent, high level only I will explain what we do and all. I don't want to explain web server, what and all things might uh, know, you know, what do you say, are really impacting our like when we see what things might impact our, what are the things we have to see when it comes to the web server log. If you go to the YouTube SOC playlist, I think 3, or I don't know, 2. If you go there, no, it is in SOC playlist 3, 2. There is something, uh, web traffic profiling. Okay, um, you can go there and you can visit that. It's not any practical, it's theory part, which I have clearly explained. If you are going to secure, or if you want to create some dashboards for the web server related things, okay, what are the things you have to focus? Simple, like everyday, like common man, whatever we use, from that perspective only I explained. Like, you don't think like you're a SOC engineer or you're a developer or anything. Just go and with an open mind, go and visit that, and just go through it, and you will come to know about what we are like up to when we are going to secure any web server, what we are going to see. Okay, let's see, come back, and once after we do some kind of analysis, and comes to know that if there is some change, because of the change anything is happening, okay, immediately, okay, we will be going to create an incident then and there itself, and we will update all that information, and we will assign it to them, to the developers, to roll back those changes, because we need the changes has actually broke some kind of existing functionalities. Okay, and SOC team has identified it, and they created some incident, and they let the developers to roll back those changes using that incident. And this incident creation, some companies, they don't create an incident, they will just tell the developers to roll back, and some companies, they create the incident. It's same, like it depends upon the company to company. Okay, it's an organization to organization, they will follow these kind of things. Some companies, they will, okay, as soon as if they find because of these changes something bad happened, immediately they will raise a incident ticket. But some companies, they don't, because they are just already interacting with the the development team during the deployment, right? So they can tell there itself, why unnecessarily creating an incident. But for some companies, process is important. If something happened very bad, okay, immediately create an incident and let the team to do the rollback. That is called as rollback, means changes whatever they have done, going back to the previous version is called as a rollback. Okay, whatever the changes these guys have done, okay, going back to the old version, okay, is called as rollback. Okay, so they will do, we'll request them to do rollback. Okay, then after that they will do the rollback. Okay, because of the changes some impact happened, right? So now they do the rollback, and again we will start monitoring the, after the rollback, how is it now. Okay, now you will see the number of 4. Now you should be able to see number of 404 errors from that web server. Okay, those responses now has to be reduced again back to some 180 to 200 or something, some value somewhere around 200. Okay, because which was earlier, because of these changes deployments, it went to 600. Now it has come back. I'm just giving the vague values, don't think it will be like that. Okay, for your understanding I'm giving. Okay, so it has come back to somewhere around now 200. Now you will feel as a SOC team that, okay, now moving back the changes, rolling back the changes to the original. Now the systems are good. Okay, and you will recommend them that changes are going to be deferred. the changes are going to be deferred. Okay, so SOC team will suggest to defer the changes, and they will defer. Defer means like, okay, no, we are not continuing this these changes. It's not rejection. It is like we have everything, approvals and everything, but when we did something, we are like rolled back, right? So you cannot say roll back or something. We said deferred. Okay, so it will be deferred and it will go back, okay, to the original one. Now, SOC team, now this whatever the work we have done, right, after doing the rollback, okay, so that is like rollback. After rollback, we did some analysis. What if everything worked fine after they did changes? If everything worked fine, okay, there is no abnormal activity or from the web server or firewall or anything. All the systems are going good without any issue. No need to worry about anything. Now everything is fine. Okay, now you need not to do anything. What you have to do is, okay, you wait and see the graphs and these the statistics and these the pie charts, everything is there. Okay, monitoring it for around 15 minutes to 20 minutes and see, okay boss, the first two servers whichever you deployed, I did not find any kind of significance. Where you are giving all this information back to them, you have a the chart opened, all the people who are involved in this change, right? Like SOC team, Windows team, network team, okay, that web application development team, sometimes testing team will also be there. Okay, so everyone is there in the chart, because if something happens there, everyone will do their contribution to resolve this issue. So in that chart, everything is there. Like right from first, we started deploying. Okay, we are planning to deploy these changes at so and so time, and these are the changes. Okay, request. They will send a message. Request to SOC team to do deployment checks, means everything is good before we proceed further. Then after that, SOC team will respond to them in the chart saying that, okay, um, like everything is fine. Okay, no need to I mean, like all the dashboards suggest everything is fine. There are no active P1s also. You can proceed with the changes. And we have done the pre-validation checks in our dashboards, and everything suggests that everything is fine. So we can proceed with the changes. Then after that, they do some changes. And if the changes, okay, and if the changes, whatever they did, okay, if everything is working fine in the organization, say for example, they did not face any kind of the issues in the organization, so what happens because of that? So everything is fine, no problem, boss. We are happy that now the change went successfully, so everyone is happy. Now could you please do one small thing for me? That like that they will ask, please do post deployment checks. Yeah, post deployments is also checked. Okay, and could you please share your reports? Our reports has to be updated as evidence for them, because if we don't provide evidence to them for this change, that everything is working fine, if some problems happens after like 6 hours or 7 hours, to whom they have to go and ask? They don't have any evidence to show also. So we will, it might be evidence, might be by us or by them. We have to attach to the this change record, whatever it is. Okay, so this is just some real-time thing which I want to explain you, that how the change request happens and all these things. So every day we'll learn some kind of new stuff like this. Okay, people who join little late, nothing to worry, everything got recorded. You will be provided the record, this recorded session, so nothing to worry about it. Okay, so let's wrap it up, and let me